After more than a decade away, Ninja Gaiden is finally returning, and it's doing so with a vengeance. Launching on October 21st, Ninja Gaiden 4 marks the revival of one of the most influential action series in gaming history. This time, Team Ninja is joining forces with PlatinumGames to merge two different styles of mastery: precision and spectacle into one brutal, fast-paced experience. From everything we've seen so far, this isn't a simple reboot, it's a reinvention. The legendary Ryu Hayabusa returns, joined by a new rival protagonist, and together their story looks to explore legacy, power, and the cost of obsession. With gameplay built around speed, timing, and razor-sharp combat design, Ninja Gaiden 4 is shaping up to be one of this year's most anticipated action games. So before it releases next week, let's break down everything we know so far. And so at its core, Ninja Gaiden 4 is a story about legacy and how the past refuses to stay buried. The game takes place years after Ninja Gaiden 3. The world has changed, and so has Ryu Hayabusa. The once proud dragon ninja has withdrawn from the world, living in isolation while the scars of his last war still ripple through time. Meanwhile, Tokyo has fallen under a spreading corruption. Storms filled with demonic energy, streets overrun by chaos, and whispers of a power returning from the depths. And that is where Yakumo enters the picture, a rising assassin from the rival Raven clan. He's been raised to believe that the Dragon Line is a curse, and that destroying Ryu's legacy is the only way to restore balance. His mission sets off a chain of events that tears open the veil between humanity and the Fiend realm once again. And when the corruption begins to spread, Ryu has no choice but to step out of exile. What follows is a collision of generations, one man burdened by the sins of the past, and another consumed by the promise of revenge. Their paths intertwine in a story that feels darker, more personal, and far more introspective than the series has ever been. And it's not about good and evil this time, it's about how far both men are willing to go and what they'll sacrifice along the way. And that duality runs through every part of the game, starting with its two playable leads. For the first time in series history, Ninja Gaiden 4 puts two protagonists front and center, each one representing a different side of the same blade. Ryu Hayabusa returns as the veteran warrior, older and more deliberate than we've ever seen him. His fighting style reflects that change, slower, calculated, and grounded in mastery. Every swing of the dragon sword feels intentional, and every strike earned through patience and timing. And then there's Yakumo, the new blood. A prodigy of the Raven clan, he's faster, flashier, and far less restrained. His weapon of choice, the Raven Talons, are twin cursed blades that drain his health in exchange for raw power. His combat style thrives on momentum, chaining combos, pushing aggression, and risking everything for the perfect kill. The contrast between them drives the story forward. Ryu represents tradition, while Yakumo embodies rebellion. One fights to preserve a legacy, the other to destroy it. And as the game alternates between their perspectives, it's clear that their rivalry isn't just physical, it's philosophical. And that same duality carries into the gameplay itself, which feels like the purest evolution of what made this franchise so beloved in the first place. Everything about Ninja Gaiden 4 is built around precision, and from what's been shown, the combat looks as fast, fluid, and unforgiving as ever. The game runs up to 120 FPS, emphasizing responsiveness above all else. Every animation, every dodge, every counter is designed to give players full control over the chaos. Ryu's combat is deliberate. It returned to that classic Gaiden rhythm of patience and punishment, while Yakumo's is wild and experimental, built around risky chains and quick aggression. The new Blood Raven system plays into that difference. When activated, Yakumo enters into a temporary rage state that dramatically boosts speed and power, but at the cost of his own health. It's a literal representation of his mindset. The faster he fights, the more he burns himself out. Enemy AI has also evolved. Instead of repeating patterns, enemies now adapt to player behavior, switching tactics, parrying common moves, and even disarming weapons mid-fight. And so it's designed to keep players reactive rather than routine. And traversal ties directly into combat as well. Wall running, grappling, and aerial combos all flow seamlessly into fights. You can leap from rooftops, sprint across vertical walls, and chain attacks mid-air without losing momentum. And every space feels like an arena, and every encounter feels earned. And for players chasing mastery, the Purgatory Gates make a return. These are optional challenge arenas hidden throughout the world, stripping away healing and modifiers to test pure skill. They're punishing, but they're where Ninja Gaiden veterans will find their true test of endurance. But to truly appreciate that combat, it's important to understand that the world it all takes place in, one that's more dynamic and dangerous than ever. The setting of Ninja Gaiden 4 blends modern decay with ancient mysticism, creating an atmosphere that feels both grounded and otherworldly. The world isn't open in the traditional sense, but it's more interconnected and expansive than any previous entries. Players will travel across several massive zones, each with distinct geography, threats, and tone. At the center lies Neo Tokyo, a cyberpunk sprawl twisted by demonic energy. Every street glows with flickering neon and crimson rain. And beyond the city is Mount Fuji's Shadowlands, a forested region steeped in myth where shrines, temples, and spiritual ruins hold secrets of the fiend realm. And finally, the Raven Citadel, Yakumo's stronghold, a fortress of blood and steel that hides the truth behind his clan's war. Environmental conditions affect gameplay as well. Rain muffles footsteps for stealth, fog limits vision but hides movement, lightning arcs through puddles, electrifying surfaces and forcing you to reposition mid-fight. And so it's not just visual polish, the world itself becomes part of the challenge. And that challenge peaks when you face the game's towering bosses, each one designed to test every skill that you've learned. And no Ninja Gaiden game is complete without its bosses, and this one looks to bring them back with style and ferocity. Each major boss embodies a different form of corruption. The Serpent Queen poisons entire arenas, forcing players to manage space and timing. The Ashen Monk phases in and out of reality, shifting the rhythm of combat mid-fight. And the Iron Raven, Yakumo's fallen mentor, mirrors your own attacks, turning the duel into a battle of reflexes and adaptation. And of course, the most anticipated showdown of all is the clash between Ryu and Yakumo, a fully playable encounter that Team Ninja has described as a battle of conviction, not survival. And now how that fight unfolds may even depend on how you've progressed through each storyline. And beyond bosses, regular enemies have been overhauled as well. Fiends, assassins, and cyber demons each have unique tactics. Some swarm in coordinated groups, others stalk from a distance. The developers have emphasized variety. No two encounters should ever feel the same. And while these fights look cinematic, they're still grounded in that signature Ninja Gaiden difficulty. Fast, brutal, and unforgiving in the best way possible. Now, the road to Ninja Gaiden 4 has been long. Early concepts reportedly started as far back as 2018, but full production didn't begin until Team Ninja partnered with PlatinumGames in 2022. The collaboration wasn't about changing what worked, it was about elevating it. Platinum brought expertise in fluid animation and combo flow, while Team Ninja focused on mechanical depth and difficulty. Developers have said that their goal is to deliver precision and punishment without frustration, meaning every death should feel fair and teachable, not cheap. It's the same philosophy that made the original trilogy a benchmark for hardcore action design. Public previews have echoed that sentiment. Outlets that have seen gameplay describe it as classic Gaiden brutality with modern refinement. Critics have praised the new dual protagonist setup, the improved responsiveness, and the dynamic visuals that shift tone and lighting in real time. Now, there's still feedback on camera tweaks, but overall, impressions have been incredibly strong. And so in short, it sounds like Team Ninja knows exactly what fans want, a true return to the series' roots, rebuilt for a modern era. And so the overall question is, where does all of this leave Ninja Gaiden 4 heading into release? Well, everything shown so far points to a confident comeback, one that doesn't shy away from the brutality and mastery that defined the series in the first place. By pairing Ryu's discipline with Yakumo's chaos, the game looks set to deliver the best of both worlds: technical, high-skill combat wrapped in cinematic style and emotion storytelling. And it's been over a decade since we've seen this franchise at full strength, but if Team Ninja and PlatinumGames deliver on what they've promised, Ninja Gaiden 4 could mark the return of the gold standard in action combat. And so my overall question to you is, what do you think of Ninja Gaiden 4 so far from all the gameplay that you've seen, from what we talked about today? Are you guys going to be getting it on day one? Are you going to wait for this game to go on sale? Or are you just going to simply just wait to see what people say before you buy it? So let me know in the comments down below. Would love to hear your thoughts. And if you guys did enjoy this video, make sure to leave a thumbs up, hit that subscribe button if you're new, as I will continue to make more gaming news videos just like this one. Until next time.